We have a very special guest by way of now beginning to pivot in the class to local leaders. And it's something I've been wanting to do for quite some time is to be bringing in people from the region, from the campus and elsewhere who are examples of real emerging global leaders and who are achieving a lot. And I'm more than um, excited to do this because, as it happens, in the discussion post of just last week, I saw two very good discussion posts. One, of course, I can always expect from Alec, who himself is going to be doing a class after the break. You need to know more about Alec and his leadership, and you will. Okay, but he said very simply, could we not be recommending leaders, global leaders? And of course, my answer is yes. Okay, but then a couple days later, in pops Madison, right? And Madison, I thought, said something very important. She said, you know, the guest from Vancouver, David Long, is good, but he's far away. We need to be having people who are more local. And so the fact that you were both already thinking of what's been on my mind for some time really tells me that, you know, you're in the class. You're definitely engaged, and that was great. So it has been my intention, it's always my intention to be giving you examples of people from the high levels of power, world leaders, for example, uh, people who have been really doing something for their communities or for important global issues, wherever they may be in the world. That's what the global classroom is. We bring people in from all over. We're about the whole planet in here. Then there are leaders who have started their own initiatives, and those initiatives are actually achieving something, and they are doing something that is producing positive social change. And that brings me to Victoria or Vicky Pike. I'm going to leave this hanging for a moment as to who she is and why she's here and what she's about to tell you, because I just need to talk about a couple of other things. Um, but I just want to remind you that as you look at the big board right now with an image silent looped of the former Minister of Education in the Ontario government, Stephen Lecce, um, he is actually making a presentation, an announcement in the Ontario legislature about modernizing and improving the schools and education in Ontario. And in the course of his several presentations he made about this, he talked about Vicky. So, what you're going to be seeing today in terms of global leadership is not just a local leader who lives close to the campus and has been in this class, in this room, but someone who has impact. This is a critical topic today that we're going to be looking at. The skills that I've been trying to help you develop and think about are all in aid of making an impact. Global leadership, whether you are, the leader of a country, that's one kind of global leader. Whether you are somebody who is very involved in their community and trying to improve their community wherever they may be, that's another kind of global leadership. Or the third kind of leadership, which is that you've started your own initiative. David Long has a business, but that's an initiative. It's something he started. Or whether it's the initiative that our guest has started and that has led to the Minister of Education standing up in the Ontario legislature and saying, this person is doing outstanding work. That's who you're going to meet today. And so, come on in, Calvin. So I hope that Madison in particular, that today you're going to walk out of here going, yeah, these are local leaders that are inspiring and people that I understand and are speaking to that bigger issue of global leadership. Does that make sense? But do you want to say anything about that? Because I really liked what you said, and I like the fact that students will speak about something that um, is important to them, and they don't just, yeah, it's great. They don't just say what they think their professor wants to hear. So, and you wrote it yourself. You're not resorting to a machine to write it for you. Nobody really is in this class. These discussion posts are excellent in this class. There's some really good ones. But anyways, anything you want to say about that? You know, that post?
Um, this is on.
Yeah, done.
I kind of have like something to say, but like not really. Like I love that like you're trying to like get other people from like other provinces in, but at the same time, like it would be kind of like nice to have like people in the community
Yeah,
come in and like acknowledge them and like bring awareness
yeah.
about them.
Exactly. Good. Okay. Well, thanks. That's all. So, hold on to the mic for now. Just turn it off. By the way, on the big board right now, it's the wrong date. Today is February the 12th. We'll change that a little bit later. Come on in. But first, before we start with Vicky, who's going to tell you her story momentarily, and I'm going to let her tell the story. I'm not even going to tell you what exactly she's done. I'm going to let you explain. All I'm saying is that she is someone who is having impact, and it's just great. So first, in terms of attendance today, the marker for the board over there has gone missing. I tried something last week, which seems to be even better, which is at some point today, everybody's just going to go over and put their names into the board over here. Okay. And it works well. So we'll get to that. My hope today is that we're going to have a chance to interact with Vicky. She's going to speak along with her aunt, who is joining online, Joy. Um, and then around 11 a.m., I would like to break off into teams and that we can do an activity with Vicky together. And I just want to tell you what the activity is going to be. And her presentation today will help you to get ready for that. I'm not going to be returning to rewriting the David Long letter just yet. I want to let that sit. That's not till later in the semester anyway, so we're going to invite him officially. What I want to do today is for you to go into your teams um, and think about your own initiatives that you would want to start in the community here. If you can come out of this class this semester with actually an idea of what you want to do, I mean, do, as in what Vicky has been doing, and you would like to have the impact that she's having, then today you're going to have a chance to start thinking about what that initiative might be. And you will work together with each other to think about that. And some of those initiatives, I hope, will get up onto the boards and we'll start talking about them. Okay? So everything seems to be working okay right now. The tech seems to be working. Live chat, everyone's connected. The looped, I mean, great, because I'm kind of on my own now with the tech. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say before Vicky starts telling us who she is and why she's here? Sean, go ahead. Sure. What's that? Well, do you have something? Yeah, let's get you a microphone, okay? Which one? Oh, not to worry. Stay there for now, okay? I've got it under control for now, but I'll let you know if I need some help, okay, Sean? Thanks. Yeah, just leave the rechargeable ones and you can use as long as you have one that's working now, and we can pass this one around if need be. Yeah, okay. So she's putting that in. So while she's doing that, let's just make sure Liam's here, Chase, Joy is there. I will change the date so that anybody who's looking at this will not get confused because today we're into February. the oh, pen. It's over here. All right. February the we'll fill in the date later. Okay. And here I can take this so you don't have too much around you because tech has a way of yeah. This is good. Yeah. Okay. So let's see.
Hello? Hello?
Yep. So you can sit, you can stand, you can move around. Your microphone's working.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah. And
Okay.
Joy, Liam, Chase, you should be able to hear Vicky. If you can't, just let us know, okay? So there's tech. Here comes, whoops, let's leave tech. Here comes another
Okay.
human. Oh, good, we have our scribe. Yeah, a Foma, are you going to do notes? Yeah, you can. So let's get a Foma a pen. She'll do a pen. I haven't had a chance to change the notes from last week. So you can just erase all of this with your hand and write over it. Okay. We'll bring you up to speed. Not to worry.
Okay.
So everybody, impact.
Hi, everyone. I'm, well, Vicky, as Lon was saying. And then there's my Aunt Joy, as you guys can hear her talking. I know you guys can't see her.
Hi, everybody.
She's here.
Great. Joy, you're in. You just need to be
Yeah.
in audio and it's perfect. Go ahead.
So I've been advocating for students with learning disabilities and reading programs and stuff. Just like you know, Aunt Joy, I was unable to see the notes. Okay.
Yeah. So, Vicky, you could tell them about where you started at 16 years old and what.
Oh yes, at 16 years old, I was completely illiterate. I could not read or count my. I could not read or count my money on my birthday cards. I couldn't count the money, like that was in my birthday cards. And I couldn't read the
At your
notes
16th birthday
at
party.
my 16th birthday party. Where,
Functionally illiterate.
yes,
Okay.
I was illiterate. Couldn't
How many years
read.
ago? 6 years ago.
6, I think, was it 6 or
Yeah,
7?
6 years ago. No, 6.
6 years ago.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
So 6 years ago, couldn't read, couldn't count. Now I'm in a college program and earning high grades with like exceptional, like over like 80% and stuff.
She's got over a 90% average.
Oops, 90.
Humble.
And with having the having like, I'm sorry, I'm like so bad.
Are you nervous?
When
It's okay.
bit.
That's okay. We'll
Okay,
help.
so-
Okay. Because I've Vicky was in the class last year,
yeah.
and she was the default. Every time she was talking, all the time through. So nerves, it's okay. All
But
right.
also with my learning disability, I have communication comprehension, so I have a hard time taking the thoughts from my brain out my mouth. So there's
Take your
harsh
time.
So, Vicky, I'll help prompt you then. I'll help prompt
Okay.
you, and then you'll take it from there.
Take your time,
So-
okay? And then this car is going to be flying along the 407. Get ready.
Yeah. So,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So
Joy,
at 15 years old, she was told for the first time she'd never earn a high school diploma or be able to go to college.
Yes.
And then talk about how you started working at school to get the teachers to support you in earning a high school diploma.
Yes.
Did you hear me?
oh yeah.
With having that was like, yeah, it was interesting having them tell me that.
Yeah. And then, but then Vicky started working really hard, and she was doing homework, 5 days a week till 10
Yeah.
o'clock.
Every night.
And
Every
she
night.
earned, and then you were able to go to the private school. So talk about
Yes.
the private school.
I went to the private school for 2 years. Originally, it was a boarding school, so you'd stay there like day and night. And then when COVID first hit, it was actually the very first school to actually do asynchronous learning, so remote teaching. So I actually invited the former Minister of Education to join one of my classes, and from there, he actually got all the schools across Ontario to actually do it because he saw how successful we were.
Yeah,
and also
because
the
the school
students
Vicky-
there.
Joy,
Joy,
Joy, is it possible? Only I'm saying this to help. Is it possible to just let Vicky speak for the moment, even
Okay,
if
sure.
there's silence? We understand that she needs. Okay, but Vicky, take your time. Okay.
I'm actually okay with Android
Are
jumping
you?
in.
Are
Yeah.
you okay?
Yeah.
All right. Then fair enough. We just want to make sure that you have a chance
to speak.
experience this human being
Yes.
fully. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry
So
about that. I
No,
was
no.
just, Vicky, I'll just quickly say, so you had noticed that your brother wasn't being taught, but you were being taught
yes,
because he
yes,
was in the public school
that's
system.
true. So I was like doing the online schooling, and I noticed that my brother was just on the couch, not teaching, getting taught, not being able to learn, not having the ability to actually get an education. And I'm like, no, he needs an education. So I was starting to lobby with the Minister of Education. I sent him a very long, lengthy, private message on his Facebook. And he, like, private Facebook, not like his actual, like, public account, like his private Facebook account. I sent it to him. Um, so he was able to respond, and it was just interesting. And like from there, everybody was able to actually learn and get an education, and all across Ontario. So it's just quite nice. Anything else, Troy?
Um,
Well,
um,
there's going to be a lot of questions and a
I
lot I
know.
can ask. But Joy, do you want what is the
yeah,
next?
so, well, Vicky, I was going to say you could talk about how the accommodations that you have been helping you.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Here at the school, I've had many accommodations with like and stuff. Like I've told them like what I need. Like I need extra time on assignments, so I ask them for those things. I have like assistance with
Tests.
tests and at the test center and stuff. Like being at I go to the test center. I'm granted the extra time I need like for tests, and I'm connected with the AS AASC office. I think.
ASC, Access and Support Center.
Access and Support
Yeah.
Center office, and they've been phenomenal here at the school. Like hands like down, like they're like quite good at like helping out if you know how to, work with them, and knowing that you want to make like you're interested in your education and they're interested in teaching, like making sure you gain the education you need. So it's quite nice with the ASC office and stuff.
Okay, and then you
I
could tell
just think
them where you are now with your reading level.
Oh, yes. I'm currently reading at about a grade 8 level. So I'm not the smoothest. I can read, but I'm very choppy. Um, extremely choppy, like bad. But I can read at least like before I couldn't read at all. So I mean, being choppy is better than not being able to read at all. And having the ability to actually read a novel or read a book is quite nice, where I never actually had the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
I like
You,
age
you could
16.
tell them about your experience at the pharmacy.
Oh, yeah.
This I don't know about. Go ahead.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Just imagine you're standing at the pharmacy and you don't know which line to stand in because you don't know what the words are. Like pick up, I couldn't read. Drop off, couldn't read. I literally was just standing there and I'm like, I don't know which line to stand in. My aunt's like, well, this is pick up. She was like helping me read it, and this is drop off. We went to a whole different pharmacy, and I said to my aunt, like, I know what line to stand in. And I was like maybe 15 at the time, like before I
Yeah.
was learning. Was I 15?
You were 15 when you couldn't read the signs, but at 16, a year later, we went back
Yes.
and you could
Whole
read pick
different
up and drop
pharmacy
off.
at 16. I was able to read the signs, and I was able to go like, I know which line to stand in. I'm like, it's that one, Aunt Joy.
Huh.
But imagine being 16 and you don't know which line to stand in just at the pharmacy. Like you're like lost. You have no
Lost.
clue. You're lost.
Lost in this world. I just want to point something out about what you're experiencing. There's so much to unpack here, things that you may not even see yet, and I will help you to see about how she's gone from where she was to where she is and where you're going.
Mhm.
But the first thing I just want to say about impact, okay, today as we put some notes down, just one thing about her impact, and is if you, of course, notice she has her aunt who's assisting her. The fact is, any leader is not alone. Everybody needs support. Everybody needs a team. And for anybody to tell you that it's all about that one person and that one person doesn't need anybody else, no man is an island. And so as you hear her and Joy together, try to also take this up, take it to another level, and remember that it's not just about the relationship between her and her aunt that's been instrumental. It's about the emerging leader who has good support. Very, very important. Okay? Yeah, go ahead. Now, before we continue, because we're going to have a lot of time today to really think about your own initiatives. Ultimately, today, it's about you. Okay? It's about you're going to be going to the boards at 11, and you're going to be working with your little support team, your pair or your group, and together you're going to be talking about the different initiatives. Here's what I will have less patience for today. If you say, I can't do it, not allowed.
You can do it.
Not allowed today. If you go to the boards together and you're bored and you're disappearing into your algorithms in your machine, leave the class because you're not here. Okay? If you need to go, that's fine. But if you really want and you're really serious about leadership, then you need to engage with the idea of the fact that you might not have much confidence. And if you don't, think of what she's gone through and where she is and what she's done. So,
Someone has a question.
Alec, okay, let's go. I'll take the microphone over, okay?
Okay.
Alec, it's on, okay? Thanks, Sean. That's great. We can see that, Sean. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yep.
So you spoke about a lot of the stuff that happened in the past and how you're moving forward past that. What are your plans for the future?
I plan on graduating college, and I would like to get a good job in the government field with a nice pension. Like, that's my goal.
No, but I meant like, what are your, like,
Or
you're in
good-
school, like, what are you looking to do? Like, what are you?
Honestly, I've had so many doors open to me that I'm not really sure where I'm going to end up because I was illiterate and I didn't know that I could learn.
So, Vicky, I think he's asking about your volunteer work.
Is that what you're asking for, the volunteer work?
Everything. Everything. Yeah, everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
For volunteer work, I'm working with Dyslexia Canada, Dyslexia Ontario. That's IDA, International Dyslexia Association. I've been working with what's her name? What's the a little bit with sick kids with them.
Yeah, but well, mostly right now she's working with Dyslexia Canada.
Dyslexia Canada.
Been helping with their website.
Yes, and their website, making it like they're like you can't really see what I'm doing because because they're transferring.
It's behind the scenes, yeah.
Behind the scenes kind of thing. So I'm doing stuff, but nothing very publicly right now.
Well, that's not true because next week you're being interviewed on Rogers TV.
Yes. Oh, yes, true. Next week on the 20th, I'm being interviewed by Durham Rogers or Rogers News. I don't really remember the name of the station.
I think it's Rogers Durham TV, yeah.
Rogers Durham TV type thing. So that's next week on the 20th.
Yeah, to share your story, to create awareness.
Story, kind of similar to what I'm doing right now, but not as, what I mean, back and forth.
And to promote Dyslexia Canada.
And promote Dyslexia Canada and IDA and all of them.
I forgot. You're dyslexic too.
Yes.
So let's start piling on the so-called disabilities. And watch what happens. Pile on the disabilities.
I have dyslexia,
and
dysgraphia, communication comprehension, and a couple of others.
And you can walk through your life and say, I can't do anything.
You can't. Yes, you can. Just
well, Sean, you know too, okay? Brandon knows to some extent too, in terms of what you can do in spite of everything working at you. Just the incredible perseverance. That's another doggedness. Remember I told you the dog with the bone? Dog with bone. Dog with bone. Go for it and will not stop. Think about that determination. Yeah. I think.
Yeah,
right? I remember.
Yes, I remember you saying that. But one of the assignments we did, I used that word.
You did, okay. But Alec, is there anything else you want to follow up with before we continue with her impact on other young people in Ontario, which is interesting. Yeah.
Somebody else
That's everything for now.
question I see.
Good. Yeah.
It's a hand.
Kinza, go ahead.
Um,
Let's move the microphone around. Okay. Great.
This is just a very short question. You said you're studying right now at Durham College, I believe.
Can you
Or
repeat that, please?
oh, I believe you said that you are currently working towards your college diploma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you studying? I'd like to know what you're.
Currently, I'm doing the
General arts and science.
general arts and science program, and I'm gonna be looking into which program I should go under afterwards. I think this program here is helping you figure out which path you should go to
Okay.
for like figuring out where you should end up. A lot of classes I've been doing, I've been getting really good grades. I'm enjoying them, but I'm not sure where I'm gonna go. It's almost like you're how like when you're younger and you're like you're like I like this, I like that. I'm experiencing that for the first time. So I mean, you know,
Well, you're
I
10
do.
years behind everybody.
I'm 10 years behind all of you. So I'm like, oh, this is fun. Let's try it.
No, that's like amazing. Like I love
Yeah.
how you're like you have the ability to go out there and like experience what
Yeah.
you want to do and
Mhm.
and it takes time. But
It-
like,
it
you'll
does.
find what you want to do like
But I
very
do
soon.
know that I want a job that's at a desk with a good pension. I know that's a definite thing. I've been saying that since I was 16. That's never gonna change.
And I hope that you get there like with
Mhm.
all the supports and with everything.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kinza. Keep going. Any questions before we continue on this? And Utsav, can you do me a favor and just come in and sit in the couch? That way people can see you, okay? That's good because you were in the
I'm gonna just move
some
my
good things to
tea
say
up.
last week from Nepal, our Nepalese student. Yeah, and yep, for sure. Now, I just want to come back to the topic today to make sure we stay on, and you can always speak about what you want to speak about with
Yes.
and joy.
I'm
you know that.
an open book.
But here's, I think, something really important. At some point, Vicky decided that she wanted to write to the Minister of Education.
Yes.
Now,
Not once, multiple times.
multiple times. Okay. Now, I'd like to ask you why,
I've
because
had
you
multiple
could
meetings.
have not. Like, why would you?
Mhm.
Why would you do that?
Actually, I didn't actually write to the Minister of Education. It was actually after because my aunt wrote a letter on my behalf with
Mhm.
me to actually
Doug
Doug
Ford.
Ford.
To Doug Ford.
Yes.
You can call him. He says you can call him on his phone. I don't know if that's, but yeah.
So
You wrote.
it's funny because it went straight to Doug Ford and then it made it way all the way down the chain right to my principal. And my principal at the time called me in and she's like, "Is this true?" Yes. Because it made that same letter went all the way down to my principal just
So
to
Yes.
confirm and see it went through all the stages.
It's terrific.
Well, because
would
I
you
think
do
they were
that?
trying to verify
You don't
who
have- you
Vicky
don't have to
was.
write to-
They were
this
trying
is
to
called
verify who
impact.
I was.
She's seeking. So what? But why? Why would you do that? Why would you write to the premier?
Because I wanted people to
province.
get an education to learn to read.
You-
I want people to get an education to learn to read.
Now here's something again, as your professor, that I need to point out to help, unless you've already noticed this. Here's another critical quality: empathy. You may not have thought of that word at that moment, but I'm trying to give you some takeaway always, so you understand that I invited her here to teach you. It's not just about her story, it's about important things around leadership that you, I think, could be inspired by. So you felt that others needed to know what. Who cares about all those others?
Because the thing is, this in society, if people don't know how to read, that's not good for in general population.
But you could have said, let somebody else do that, which is what we often do
But
today.
nobody was
Leaders
doing
don't
it.
do that.
Nobody was doing it. So I'm like,
okay, guess I'll do it.
And at the time, Vicky, she did mention she was in the private school, and the
Yes.
private school she was in, it's about $100,000 grant for the year,
Yes.
and they specialize in scientifically backed reading programs.
Programs like the
Yeah.
Empower Reading Program. It's literally it's EM and then Power POWER.
So she in that program she gained 4 reading levels in 8 months,
Yes.
and
It
she
is
saw,
condensed
yeah,
online
she saw how
too.
valuable it was, and she wanted other kids to have access to that program.
I'm going to put this here so people can see her. And I'm not putting it up there because it affects the live stream, but
You're right
there
there.
she is.
Hi, everybody.
All right, there.
It's okay. Don't worry.
Here's Joy. Okay.
We'll treat you with good respect, okay?
Everybody online,
Yeah.
and I'll give this back to Sean because you don't
Right.
just walk and take somebody's laptop like that.
Yeah, so Vicky was fortunate enough to get into this program, but she had to prove that she was a hard worker, and and then tell them how you lobbied for a second year for the program, because it's a 1-year program.
Yes. So originally they were saying that they weren't allowed and we weren't allowed to actually learn another year, but I actually contacted the news and I told them the situation and they're like, okay. And I also was lobbying to the Minister of Education and writing him letters and stuff. And he actually thanked me for doing that as well. I don't know if that's the video there. I don't think so. No, it's not in the video.
Vicky, you also made that video that was aired on the news as well.
Yes. Are you talking about the recent one?
Video with the students.
Oh my gosh, yes. So during online, I contacted the students and the parents and stuff, and I got them to take pictures of them holding a picture of their child. Sorry, holding a picture of their child saying their age, their reading level, and what grade they are currently. Like what their reading level grade is and what grade they're currently in. And it said some of them were like in grade 4 with like a kindergarten level, and they're holding the picture up. And very empowering. It was with like a bunch of things, like imagine like not being able to do this, like, and it just went kind of like all over the news, and it went kind of like throughout like different areas, and it was just making
So
like
it created awareness.
Yes, it created awareness, and it was able to make a difference, and actually was able to help get students another year to learn to read.
Is that the video you sent me, Joy?
All the
yesterday?
children.
Yeah, I'll grab that and run it. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'll get that.
And so
sure.
with that video, Vicky achieved, so what she was able to do is get a second year, not only for her school, but for 3 schools.
3 schools. Wasn't just my school, but 3 other schools.
Great. Yeah.
We'll and that was a $15 million investment from the Ministry of Education to send all those kids back a second year.
It's
and
not
also
cheap.
Before that, there were discussions about ending the program altogether.
They weren't going to actually like continue reading the reading program. They're like, nope.
They were going to cancel the whole. All 3 schools.
All of them.
And since then, since Vicky's advocating, they haven't talked about
implementing it in other local schools.
Yeah, well, it's teed up. Okay, I'm just teeing it up.
So,
yeah,
with the school and everything, it was like able to like having like all those students come in, but also not just now, they're actually implementing the reading program into other schools, like local schools that are in the area of where the schools are, and they're actually like teaching them to students from kindergarten to grade 8, but they haven't quite made it into high school yet. So I'm gonna be lobbying to try and get that more of that happening going on for students in high school, still being able to get an education.
Alec, keep going, and just remember that we're moving towards, in about 10 minutes, you're going to go to the boards and think about the initiatives, and I just want to make sure we're clear on one word here. It's a really great 4-letter word. I think, Vicky, that you love what you're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so could you write love down? This initiative.
I do love it, but there is sacrifice. There is.
Okay, great. I don't want to.
I'm sorry, but there definitely is sacrifice going on with this as well. So I mean, like, yes, you may love something, you just have to realize that there's sacrifice being involved. I remember him saying about sacrifice before in the class. I'm not sure if he's gotten to that
Oh, for sure.
class.
But I just want to help you to think about what you're going to be doing when you start thinking of the initiative. She said that she figured out it was something that needed to be done. I can't remember. You said, "I'll just go and do it."
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna. It needs to be done. I'm gonna go do it, and then in that, you start to find that energy that you
Yeah.
love. You can see the impact, and that really,
Eager.
yeah, that's what we're trying to help you all with. Okay, Alec.
So, what's your plan moving forward to help increase the reading level for students in Ontario?
I'm gonna be working with Dyslexia Canada. I'll be contacting the new Minister of Education, Jill Dunlop. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, Vicky. Good memory. Yeah, so she's already working on some lobbying ideas to
Right
with
now,
Dyslexia Canada.
Dyslexia Canada. We haven't gone to approach Jill Dunlop yet, but it will.
But she's on your radar.
Yeah, she's definitely, it's definitely going in my brain.
And currently she's going to be doing a podcast in a few weeks, and she's going to be
actually,
on
yeah,
the news this week to promote Dyslexia Canada and to promote awareness about students with reading differences.
Yes.
I've got the video going silently, okay, behind us. So it's there. I can actually get the audio. Should we watch a little bit, or is there anything you want to say before?
No.
I just don't.
Unless Antroy, do you have anything you want to say?
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna rewind. I'm gonna start the video. I'll put it full screen, and you will see this in terms of her impact. And then we'll conclude with a little bit here, and then we're going to start with the activity.
Sounds
We
good.
can continue with everything during the activity.
Okay.
We should also quickly touch on how Vicky was part of the Right to Read campaign and changed the school system.
I was actually the very first guest speaker at the Right to Read inquiry for the Right to Read campaign.
Yeah, and the curriculum.
Okay, you go.
Go on. Yep.
So the curriculum all across Ontario has been changed, partly impacted because Vicky was such a mature student and was illiterate, and proved that at a late age she could still learn to read. So she was a big focus on that campaign because of how old she was.
Great. I'm making sure that people in the recording Cosmos can see. It's all part of the method and the madness. Okay. Anyways, so is there anything else you want to add before we run the video?
Also, when I was actually speaking with my aunt and stuff, it was like a whole room full of adults and some children that were younger and
lawyers.
And lawyers. And people were literally crying when I was speaking. Like they're just surprised and beside themselves. Like I went on so long in this situation and stuff. So like trying to speak and also seeing people cry as you're telling your story was just like, wow. And that was like one of the very first times I was speaking. And also I was using a script and I was very choppy at reading, but I also went over time, but they still let me finish because it was just so empowering.
Alec, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I know it seems that you do a lot of work with your aunt. How are your parents involved in?
That's a good question. My parents are. How do I put this, Antroy?
Both of her parents are disabled and have cognitive disabilities.
Yeah.
So I tutor Vicky and I co-parent.
Yes.
So she actually lives with me 50% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I function as a surrogate mom as well.
Yeah.
It's just remarkable how she finds the support, wherever. So the parents, it's difficult. So in steps in the aunt.
Yeah.
And the aunt's helping. Like this is textbook leadership, but in a way that you may not have ever expected.
Mm-hmm.
And so let me just run the video because again, we're talking about impact. Look at the impact on the next generation. Let's make sure the audio's on here. Good. Should be working. Let's do it. Yeah, exactly, Alec. Let's give a hand, and we're going to conclude with this in a moment, and then we're going to go. But um, what would you like to say that hasn't been said yet?
Um, that's a interesting question. I'm trying to think. Angela, is there anything on the list that we didn't cover?
Oh, there's so much we haven't covered.
I know.
Vicky's story is huge. I mean, she started with advocating. She started with advocating in her own high school to get proper reading books for kids.
Reading books. We actually, the students, they were actually just read like an example is like Sea Spot Run. That's not a literal book, but then they actually started bringing in books by actually
with age appropriate content,
but yet of our reading level of a younger grade.
And then also, since you graduated high school in the PLP program she was in, it was only geared towards getting kids a certificate
of completion. But now students, they now don't just judge them on their IEP or access plan, like, the thing that you use for school. They now judge them on, they actually test them like, okay, let's show this work in front of them instead of just comparing it onto the paper. And if they don't succeed, they put them back to what they need. But most of the time, like I've gotten told by a couple of students I've over the years going, I actually got a diploma. I'm like, fantastic. I'm so happy to hear this. Because I was actually the student that they actually were using it on, and they're like, okay, let's go here and let's put this on Vicky. And then I was able to actually kind of like cut down like the forest and get down, make a path for students to actually go through and kind of like trailblaze kind of like through it kind of thing.
Yeah, so many students that are in that program now in her old high school are getting a diploma when before none of them were.
Where before they weren't.
Yeah, and then also you helped get the English curriculum changed across Ontario.
That
which is great, but it's still not. She's still working on that because it's only been implemented from grades 1 to 3 mostly.
Okay, grade 1 to 3.
Yeah, so that's something that we're working on with Dyslexia Canada.
Kindergarten and then higher.
Well, you know what we should do is we need to. Let me just bring this. Oh, well, I'll leave this for now. Let's make Afoma just a little bit uncomfortable right now, and go over to her and help her to write down a separate card. Okay, on what exactly are some of the critical leadership skills that you've just seen on display, and we'll spend 5 minutes doing it. Then we're going to all go to the different boards. Okay, and remember, the I can't do it, it's just not allowed, it's prohibited. Where she's got it on a note, a previous card. Okay,
you say I can't do it yet,
I can't do it yet
at the end of it.
But I would add to this that, let me just not bring in too much cold water, but it's important that we have balance here. Vicky mentioned sacrifice. Yes, we can all do anything. We can all dream. We can all have impact. But there are limits. You can't do everything. You have to be able to know what your limits are too, and you work within those limits. Okay, so I just want to be clear that this might be one of the more inspiring classes for all of you this semester, but I hope they all are to some extent. But in terms of that, you're listening to a story of a remarkable story of a person who is just at the beginning of her achievements in her life. And you may think, we all may think, well, anybody can do anything. That's what we say today. Good parents will say to their children, you can be anything you want. Well, you can, but you can't. There are limits. And there are things that you have to work with, challenges. And so I want you to think about that, okay? We will get to that. But what are some of the things that Afoma should write down on a card right now on our live PowerPoint slide of critical skills that you've seen on display. Then we're going to go do the activity. Alec, you want to start, and then we'll see what you're thinking, okay? So let's give AFOMA some important little checklist to get going. All right, vital skills.
I can belief.
I can.
Belief.
Belief. Yeah, lovely. Faith.
Yes.
So, huh? What? Well, Sean's saying religion. I'll just help for a second, just to move things along. Sean, religion happens to be the place in human society where we all think faith is parked. Actually, well, religion is a place of incredible faith and obedience and commitment. However, I think that Vicky you're not religious, are you?
No.
No. Faith, those of you who are religious, you may not want to hear this, and you may be angry at me for saying this. For those of you who are religious, you do not have exclusive domain over faith. You don't. It's a human thing. She has a lot of faith. A lot. And it comes from so faith, okay? But it's not religious. That's belief, faith. Is that okay, Alex? Faith? Yeah. Okay. Let's do 5 things. Then we're gonna move on. Okay. What's another skill or another attribute, another characteristic that you've seen? Sean? Lovely. Bravery. Courage. Well, they're important, Sean, and in your discussion posts, the 5th ones that I was been reading over the last week, a lot of you are picking up on this idea of courage and leadership, and I've mentioned that. It's very important, Sean. Very important. Let's keep going. Madison? Confidence? Was the confidence there back at the pharmacy?
When I was like,
You couldn't read.
I couldn't read. I actually was. I know it sounds weird, but I actually have always had kind of like confidence, even though, like, I did. Even though I didn't know what to do. Yes, I was still lost, but I still had my confidence.
Really?
Yeah. It was not arrogance.
Okay.
I know that, but
That's interesting. Confidence. Oh, take the mic. Make sure Kinza's got. When Kinza gets going, she's got some good things. Go
I
ahead.
wouldn't
Kinza.
say it was arrogance at all.
No.
You were doing what you thought was appropriate to do. Like you didn't know what line to stand in. Just standing there. Maybe,
I did observe.
Yeah, observing. Yeah. So you saw what other people were doing, and you did what you can do in that
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Nice.
If you
Okay.
look at like, you know what I mean, like you're dropping off
Mhm.
something, you don't see them walk away with bags. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. So just like social cues. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
FOMA is thinking because she's adding resourcefulness,
Mhm.
which is good. Okay. In fact, to make it easy, okay, we'll leave it as a 2. That's fine. So we'll go. We need 2 more, 4 and 5. I don't want to keep going default here. So I might put a microphone in somebody's face. And
He will do it.
you know, Brandon. I'm gonna bring it over to Brandon. Okay. Okay, but Sean, you've added Kinza. Let's and Utsev, can you hold the microphone for Brandon so he can speak? Good. Okay, number 4.
I would say determination
Determination.
is a very big factor in everyone's
Absolutely.
desire to move forward in this world to find a place where everyone belongs.
Amen. Perseverance, determination. I might even say, from my experience at 62 now, having done a lot of things, this may be the critical factor, Brandon. Your determination, your desire to keep going when everybody else stops. You just, dog with the bone, perseverance. Nice, Brandon. That's a great. Okay, one more. Okay, so we've got Alec, we have Sean, we have Kinza, Madison, Brand,
Do you have
Foma. Well, let's let a Foma. She, I'll give her a mic. Yeah, you hold that one.
Okay.
Okay, a Foma. This should be your mic. You hold on to that, and let's see. Go ahead.
Creativity.
Pardon?
Creativity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Creativity. Okay, I'm bringing the camera back, Foma. Your time on YouTube close up is done. You're no longer famous. You're just a person off camera. You don't exist in the world of cameras anymore. That's creativity is terrific. Yeah, Actually, any leader who's doing something new is intrinsically creative because
You have to keep thinking.
and you're also doing something no one else has done.
Mhm.
So you have to be creative. You're inventing something new.
Mhm.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, can we just give Vicky one more hand and then we're gonna move on? Okay, thank you. And
And my Aunt Joy as well helping.
yeah, we're gonna get ready for an activity. Let's just see in the cosmos. Chase and Liam, is there anything you would like to add before we move on to the activity?
I got nothing right now.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for jumping on your microphone because that really helps instead of just the live chat. Okay, so we're going to move on to the activity, and we can stay together here, and then I'll kind of explain as we're going. But a FOMA will anchor the team over there, okay? And we're going to, everything's working. I had Elgin, our tech director, get set up. So each of the pods will have a team. Let me just count and see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Excellent. So we can have groups of 4. Would you 3 here go with a FOMA right now and go stand over there? And then Kinza, Aaron, Akeem, and Ruth, could you go over to that one over there? I'll get it working. Oh, it's okay. That's all right. Sean, you're going to go over there with Alec and anyways, it'll come. Like, the 4 of you go over to the third one, okay? Sorry, and then the 4 of you, Brandon, please go over to. Okay. Okay, so you come if you come back, Brandon, if you come back, that's going to be your team over there. Okay, so let's do this. So I'll open that. So go over to your pods, and I'm going to come and. Just press it, and then I'm going to help you get connected and everything. So I'm going to come around, and so while this is going on, while I'm getting them set up, why don't you see if there's anything that Liam or Liam would like to talk about? You can engage the cosmos a little bit. Okay,
Okay.
that's what I normally do. Is all there might be quite more people, but Liam may want to ask a question too. So just Liam, Vicky is here with you right now. If there's anything you want to talk to her about, I'm going to just get things set up with everybody else. Okay, so all right.
Liam, do you have any questions for Aunt Joy
So
or I?
that's
If
good.
you're
I
wondering.
need to get this today connected to the big board, and I'm going to do it this way.
No, not honestly, not really anything too much
If
right
this
now.
export to screen
Okay.
share, that means I'm going to be able to share
That's all good.
everything. Exactly. And then you can go to the roll browser and grab anything. You can just take that, and you just, yeah, but I've already saved it, and it's already posted on DC Connect. So
Aunt Joy, is
so-
there anything that we
so
should
go ahead.
cover?
Okay, so you're good there. Great, and then just so you know in the future, Alec, if
I didn't hear you, Vicky.
I
export
said, is there anything that we
screen
should
share,
cover?
and then wired, and that's
Um,
going to get okay.
I
Get going. I'll get you
Well,
your
I mean,
pens.
we could talk about, how that you're taking advantage of the support
Okay,
systems at the school.
Hold on. Let me just
Yeah.
lower this, so you can talk because there are so many
Oh.
different. This takes the speaker here down low.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
that's okay.
Sorry.
No, it's no problem. Okay, so I would like you all to start
there
thinking
anything-
about, and I'm going to come around and get
Who was
everybody
Liam?
connected.
So
Who are we talking to right
Each
now?
one of you has to
Can't hear you. He made it so
give
low that I
an
can't hear.
initiative that you would like to begin, that you would like to start,
You can't
that
hear
you
me
would
at
like
all?
to do, like she has.
I
And
I don't think I'm allowed
doesn't have to be thought through in any way. Just brainstorm,
because
but
people
you're
are
not
working.
allowed to
and
say
it's distracting.
can't. Okay, so there should be a list, 1, 2, 3, 4 of there's a FOMA's initiative, Calvin's initiative,
Me?
Madison's initiative, and such's initiative. Okay, and help each other in thinking it through. Okay, same with the 4 of you. Oh, I'll get you. Yeah, grab Akeem. Exactly. Grab a pen. Thank you, and grab them all. Okay, and then hand them out. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so those 3 teams can get going. Excellent. And then I'll get you connected. And today, good. So what I want to do is I want to get you connected to the big board today so we can see. So wire. Okay. So the 3 of you, I'd like you to have a conversation, and you should make a list of each person will have an initiative. Utsav's initiative. And what's your first name again? Amit's initiative. And it's Gorfpreet's initiative. So you're thinking about what would your initiative be that you could lead, like her. She has her initiative, her project. You need to think about your project that you're going to be the global leader of, and you have to have an idea. You can't say I have no ideas. Okay. So, do you want me to help you, or do you think you understand? Yeah. Okay. So, let's get rid of this. Uh, No, I don't want to exit. Uh, just a second. Something's happened here. Yes. Oh, good. Okay. So, whoops. I don't know. So let's start for a second by writing down. Um, let's see. Are we getting? No. Okay. So Gorv's Gorv's project. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Okay. You can correct the spelling by this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is not. Okay, just you might find you need to play with it a little bit. Okay, good. Okay, good. So we've got the activity going. I'm going to check and see. Liam, oh, okay, go ahead. Okay, sorry. Yeah, go ahead. You should be able. You'll be fine now. So let's see. We should be able to hear you in here.
And can you hear me?
Yes, Joy, we're good. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I
Yeah,
was just
so
brainstorming. I was like,
let me
can't
just
hear.
mention to Liam. Liam, I'd like you to start writing in the live chat what your
Yeah,
initiative
I
is.
was
Okay.
I was literally just typing right now. I didn't know if you guys wanted me to talk or to type.
Are you
whatever
just
you're
think?
more
Are you
comfortable.
whenever you're ready? Just type it. Okay, type it
Okay.
because we'll take it up together.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then in a moment, you and I will go around to the
Okay.
different ones. I just want to double check and see if I've got the boards because I've set it up today so that all of those boards can be seen up here.
Yeah.
The same. So let me just see if that's working. Okay, so
Mhm.
that's number 1, pod 1.
Mhm.
Let's
There's
see.
two, but I'm not sure if that's actually the right
Well,
one.
let's see what happens. Yeah, it's working. Great. So we'll come back to that in a second. Pod 3. Just
Needs a little improvement.
hold on. Student pod 1. Yeah. Just a second. Student pod 1 is over there. Pod 2, and then pod 5 is good. So there they are. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with this for a second. We haven't lost.
Android, can you
this.
read it okay?
Oh yeah, I can see everything.
Okay, good.
Great. Okay, so I'm going to bring this. So online is okay. I'm going to bring back the pods here with 2. Excellent. Okay. There's 1. There's 2. And then I want to try if we can get 3. Oh, so Elgin's got it. It's defaulting to this, not the pod. So we don't have the 1, but we have pod.
Can we default say 2 and 3 to 1 and 2?
Maybe, but let's just see. Let me just check, and I just want to see what we have. Okay, Good. So we have 1, 2, and 5. Okay, up here. Excellent. Now, here's the other thing I can do, but that would mean I have to go and let me see if I can do this on the fly. Uh, and no, I'm not going to try to do it on the fly. So essentially, then, this is the best we're going to be able to do, which is not bad. And Joy can see this clearly from her end.
Yes.
Okay, which is great. So
Except for she can't see number 3.
that's okay. We can take that up orally. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. We can, and I can always put it's all right. Okay. Um, so this is good. Okay. Just give me another moment. Okay. So everybody good. Keep going. Be aware that you're, except for Alex's team, which is not working, everybody else
Aunt
is
Joy, I could
displayed
take
up
a
there
picture of Team
working
3 and
on-
send it to you after.
Just be aware that what you're doing there is seen up there. Okay.
Yeah, that'll work.
Great. So 1, 2, and 5 are up there. Excellent.
Take a picture and send her Team 3 at the end.
What's that?
At the end, after just where we take it up, I can take a picture and send it to Aunt Joy.
Go for it. Yeah. Okay.
If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. I'm getting things technically set up. So keep going. Yep. That's good. FOMA's initiative, Calvin's initiative, Madison, modernizing blind. Good, Zach. Drug abuse, excellent. Want to see ideas? I was hoping we'd see Repair Cafe. Yeah, your own initiative that you're going to start. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to start. No, each one has your own. Each one, and you're helping each other decide. Aaron's initiative, Akim's, Ruth's, and Kinza. Okay? 4 projects. 4 different projects. Nice. 4 different projects. Yeah. Youth golfers. Great. And it's filling up the board. Excellent. Okay. So Liam's working on his and we'll get that in the live chat later. Terrific. We can see it. Yeah, great. Okay. Good. And Sean. All right. So we're are you concentrating on something else right now? Okay. I'll just let you know what we're doing because today's a bit of, I'm making this up with my plan, but it's the first time I've done it quite like this. So exactly. So normally, I'll just explain to you what happens. Normally, when they're doing their activity and people online are not part of that because their microphones are silent and they're working on these things, I will then have everybody online here working on their own things, and they'll put their thoughts in the live chat. And then when there's quite a few people, I will talk to them. So it's my time to kind of what I call engage the cosmos. Okay, so that's what I'm doing right now, engaging. But we don't need to, I mean, Sean's already in a group. Joy, of course, is there. And Liam's already working on his. Yeah. So why don't you, for now, without the microphone, go around to each of them and see if there's anything they want to talk to you about. Okay, I'm going to engage the students watching the recording later. Okay, I'm going to talk to them. Yeah, and you can leave this so the only sound is coming from me. Okay, so yeah, good. So go ahead and see if there's anything, and I'll join you later. Okay, good, great. So Vicky is off now. For those of you still with us watching the recording, and there are a lot of you. So right now I'm speaking to those of you who are watching the recording. And while the teams here are working on their projects, 4 individual initiatives for each pod, each student has to think about what would be their initiative. And in a moment, I'm going to pan the camera around each pod so you can see, okay, what they're doing. The student who's with us live synchronously right now, Liam, he's going to be putting his initiative in the live chat. He's working on that right now. So for all of you watching the recording now, I'd like you to start thinking about, well, what would your initiative been? What would it be? And remember what I said. You're not allowed to say, I can't. You must have an idea. And if you don't, that's your problem, not our problem. You need to have an idea. And if you have excuses, then that's not good enough. Okay? You've seen Vicky. She could have had a lot of excuses, but she made it happen. That's what leaders do. They make it happen. Okay? So I want you to think about that. And now I'm going to pan around. And what you're seeing on the board behind me, I'm speaking to the students watching the recording. Okay? So you'll see Method in the Madness. So what you're seeing right now is the groups doing their pods activities, and I've got it on the big board. So let's go and pan around and see how they're doing, okay? So here we go. I'm going to move the camera, and I'm going to start the pan, okay? So here we go. And I'm doing a little play-by-play. It's like NHL hockey, here goes the puck. The puck is moving. And it's going to come over to, let's see where. Oh, here we go. So there you go. All right. So there, there are Vicky. Vicky is talking to team 1. That's Afoma. That's Calvin. There's Ruth and Madison. And you can see Ruth there with Kinza. And their team is working on theirs. Akeem has got that going. And I'm going to continue. Good. Sean is doing some research there. Lovely. Alec is working on his with his team. And then let's see if we can sort of, I'm not sure if this is going to work. Yes. What's that? Can I connect you to there? You're the only one I can't. Oh, okay. Yeah. Hold on. Let me just bring this back. Sorry, I'll come back to, here we go. So now I'm going to try pod 3. Let's see. Here we go. It should come up in the middle. It's still defaulting to my HDMI for some reason. Yeah, it's the only. So I'll bring. Yeah. It's okay. Great. So 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes on this, then we're going to take it up. Okay. So, and Brandon, if you have, if Brandon has an initiative as well, if there's anything you want to share with them, you can tell them. Okay, and they'll put it up there. All right, as an initiative that you would lead. Okay, so see if you can with Brandon as well. And then 5 more minutes. We're going to work on this. And for those of you watching and listening, I'm back on the master shot here because there's a problem with the panning. And I'll try that again. I'm going to go to my default here. Yeah, that takes me over. Okay, so you can see there's one team. They're working on it, and that's good enough for now. So yeah, that's Calvin, and that's Afoma. That's great. Okay, so everybody's working on their things. I'll try a different angle as well, a different camera, and let's see. If I go to there, no. Let's see. No, that's not working. How about there we go. That's working. But I'm trying different views to see what's working in terms of cameras. Oh, that's not bad. That's not a bad angle. Good. So now you can see that angle. Very good. Okay. So here's what YouTube is seeing, just so you know, okay? That's the shot right now. Okay, YouTube is seeing that. Excellent. Nice. We've got some artwork going on. Yeah, YouTube is seeing that. Okay. So I'll come back and let me get the. Okay. Good. Okay, 2 more minutes, and then we're going to take things up at each of the pods, and there's lots going
I
on
lost
there.
the
That's
camera. I can't
great.
see you anymore.
And we'll see
On
what's happening with Liam in the live chat momentarily.
hey, Lon, I
Switch
can't.
the
I can't.
doors.
Hello, can you hear me, Lon?
Okay. Brandon, good. To help people pay trail blazer. Good. Great. So Brandon is working with team 4. Vicky's over there. I'm going to come back to here. And so there we, oh, hold on, preset. Don't tell me it's preset. Oh, interesting. Oh, I see why. Sorry. It was, there we go. Just getting familiar with all the different camera positions here. But right now we're looking pretty good. And Liam, something to bring more cleanliness to our local communities. Okay. We're going to take that up. Environmental. And finally, 1 more minute. And I'm going to hand the microphone around here. So let's see. We're getting ready for our take up in a moment. And I'm just going to do a little battery change. Oh, these batteries are weak, aren't they? I bought these at Dollarama. But come on, batteries. They won't go that bad. Yeah, there we go. Now we have some more juice in the batteries. Let's get this microphone juiced up here. All right. How's that doing? I think that's going to work. So the tech is cooperating today. The tech is cooperating. So this is going to be the microphone. And we're going to start with microphones. Okay, so this is going to be team 2's. Team 1 has a microphone. This is going to be team 2's microphone and team 3 for now. Okay, so there you go. Yep. Okay, 30 seconds, and then we're going to start. Look at team 1. This is some artwork with a Foma's flourishes or somebody's flourishes. Good, Liam. Adopt the spot. Liam's got a good idea going. So get ready. We're going to start the take up very shortly. And I'm going to have a different camera angle for this. So let me try and do something here for the moment, which is I would move the camera this way, right? But it takes me the wrong way. Yeah, the problem is it's counterintuitive. Okay, so let's do that. Great. I see. So there, we're going to start with, yeah. So you can see on that, that's what YouTube is seeing right now. I'm getting it set up for the take up. And let's see, we'll have to get, I'd like to get 3 screens in there if I can. Great. Okay, so what we have now, very good. Very good. Okay, everybody. I think we are ready. We're going to keep it, and we'll come back here in a moment. So let me just save this as preset 2. And so everybody can see what is being seen. I'm going to do this, and then okay, everybody, we're ready for take up. All right. And I'll just explain what we're about to do because I'm engaging with 3 different audiences here, but it should all work. Okay. So for all of you here in the room, the view of what YouTube is seeing and our video conference is there or it's there. Okay. So you've got both. So you can see right now I'm on this shot. I'm getting everything set up. So for everybody, also recording and elsewhere, we're now going to do our take up with the teams, and I'm going to take you over to them with a different camera angle, and then I'll come back here later. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. And so there we go. We can start with that. That's the best. And what I'd like to do is let's start with Alec in the far corner. Okay. Tell us what you've got there, and we're going to spend the next 10 minutes or so taking this up, and then we're going to conclude. All right. And Vicky is here with me. We will come back to her at the end to conclude with her. Alec, turn the microphone on. Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Great.
Okay, so I'm not sure if you can see our board very well because of.
That's okay. Why don't you tell us what's written on it? I can't get it up on the big board, so just.
No, it's all right. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, Sean. Go ahead, Alec.
So first we were looking at what Jonathan was looking at. So at first he was having problems thinking about different initiatives. So I asked him his hobbies. He's a golfer. So I asked him what about golf seems to be an issue. He says it's an expensive sport, so we thought maybe a program to help get maybe younger golfers interested in golfing as a way to kind of teach them, team building skills and things like that.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to get too preoccupied with tech right now.
You don't
Enough. I don't want to break anything down. Let Alec keep going. Okay. You're good, Sean, with what you're doing. Go ahead, Alec. Yep. Second one.
So Christian, when I was speaking to Christian, he said that he likes exercising. So he was thinking maybe something like exercise advice, like some free exercise advice for people, so that people can get more into healthy exercise techniques and stuff like that. Because if you exercise wrong, that could be an issue.
Very good. Very good. And I bet you would love to do that, Christian, right? It's something that you would enjoy. Yeah, absolutely. You see? Keep going. Sean?
We also added team games.
Team games.
Yeah. To increase leadership, teamwork. Basically, it's basically the next step into adding from video games.
Yes.
Like first we organize the people and have them play video games first.
And
to get to know like the people. Then the next step in the initiative is to basically, put them all physically together and
excellent
play against.
So they come in. I'm in person. So they.
Yeah. So from asynchronous or something like that, or online
to in person. To in person.
Yeah.
It's great. Keep going.
One step at a time.
Absolutely, Sean. Go ahead, Alec.
So for mine, I wrote about the Repair Cafe, which I'm already a part of. I'm not sure if you want me to speak on this now or.
No, after the break. After the midterm break, Alec is going to talk about a really great initiative, Repair Cafe, that he's a part of.
Yeah. Okay, and then the other one I was thinking about is something I spoke to you about in the past. I called it listeners. So as I said, I worked in healthcare, and with a lot of the elderly, we usually see them being neglected, and not a lot of people like to speak with them or hear their stories of life. But I found when I actually listened to them on my breaks or during my lunchtime, they had some of the most interesting stories, and you can always learn from them.
Absolutely.
There was a priest I spoke to who went on different initiatives throughout the world. He talked about, walking through the rainforest, helping a village no one knew before. And those were some of the most interesting stories I've ever heard.
Absolutely.
So I figured if we could hear these stories and somehow, put it into a book or something so these stories don't get lost, it'd be a great way to kind of educate the world in a different way.
For sure. You could digitize it too, or there'd be digital versions.
Exactly.
Something, online. We've got ideas going. Okay. This is all that matters right now are ideas. Okay. Execution can come later in the semester when we talk more about it. Is there anything else you want to add before we move on?
These two we just kind of wrote down at the last minute. We had young leaders, maybe an initiative to kind of teach younger kids about leadership roles throughout the world, how the politics work, things like that. Although that might be a bit more advanced for them, but kind of break it down to at a level that they can understand.
Yeah. And then finally,
And then the sixth one, something that I also made, broadcasters youth. Basically radio broadcasting, but youth take control of it, and basically they can tell their experiences, give tips and tricks to each other, or something like that. I actually worked, or more specifically, volunteered at a Catholic radio station.
Yep. And again, it has the in-person dimension too. It sounds like that's going to have an in-person dimension as well, right? Yeah. Good. Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Let's move on. Okay. Do you want to give it to Keem? Just because I've got the camera over here, or Keem, or Kinza, or Aaron. Team 2. Okay. And I'll just sort of bring the camera over a little bit. Yep. Oh, they've got a mic already? Yeah. Go ahead, guys. You've got two. Go ahead. We see you
Hello.
right now.
Um,
And I'll zoom in.
so at first we were kind of just we had like a roadblock. We kind of did not know what to do.
Yep.
So
Good.
then so I decided to ask my group about their passions, maybe what they might what they like. So Ruth said that she likes kids. So she came up with a initiative helping kids access basic needs.
Yes.
Um, basic needs, and I believe that she also talked about younger kids being able to use the internet safely and responsibly
Yep.
as well. Then
That's would be great.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Go on. Yeah.
I said I like tech. I'm in a tech program. I love everything technology and networking and everything. IT networking, not networking as in like meeting.
Right, right,
people.
right.
Yeah, IT networking. Um, so I do have family members, and I know that my parents, they are a bit older and they have trouble using technology,
Ooh,
navigating
yeah.
navigating base like where to go, downloading a file, printing, just doing very simple tasks. So I thought of a initiative to
Oh, I
help
can
the
see this
elderly
now. There used to
navigate.
be future shop computer nerd. Now it's going to be. I help older people, like the people like Lon, like in their 60s and 70s, get really conversant with tech.
No,
That's why.
and
Actually,
like
that might have some legs. That idea.
and especially with this day and age that tech is it like you cannot not use tech. Like tech is
Absolutely.
everywhere.
Every-
Tech, everyone has a phone, everybody has a laptop,
Yeah.
everything is digitalized, and I believe it's very important that you learn how to grow with it and not just be like, no, I don't know how to do it. Like because you gotta know. Like you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And Amir
Very good.
said writing, and I'll let him talk.
Okay, go ahead, Amir.
Okay, so when when she writing for me, like it's simple word like writing, as I said, but it's not like that basic that you think, because for me writing is not the main thing. Like maybe I prefer two three things, but why I use it, because as you see I have like an a big imagination. So I use like, and I still like rewrite stories in ways like could be new. Like if you have like a story like let's say you can imagine any story like or any novel. So
Right, I'm
I
seeing it
add
up here
like,
now. So go
yeah,
ahead, keep going.
so sometimes I add like some people like in it, or like some side stories. Sometimes I add myself, someone like a family, like that they have like some effect like for the actual story, but without like taking another route. It's like just a side way.
Yes, yes.
And like that's it for me. For like my passion is like just those things. And then we have
Aaron, do you want to try? Yep. Go ahead.
Okay, so mine is drug abuse. So, firstly, I believe stopping drug abuse would lead to socio-economic transformation, because
Yes.
socially it affects us, because we see quite a number of homeless people, and most of them do use drugs.
Yeah, yeah.
So they become jobless and homeless. However, if these people were in the right state of mind, they would contribute to the economy, because they would be working, and then the government would benefit sort of in them being able to pay their taxes, and then government can use that revenue to develop other parts of the country.
Sure,
And then
sure.
economically, some of the weed they take is not even from here. So that's money getting out of the country. So them being in the right state of mind, they'd be able to work, and then, probably do or buy more of, these domestic goods and services. And so it would benefit the country economically and socially.
This is excellent. Now, let me just stop for a second and just deal with a bit of reality right now. I'm looking at the clock. We have 4 minutes left. I'm going to make a suggestion. So, here is what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to bring the camera over. Okay, so I'm talking to everybody now, and they can. Is that Next week, we don't have a guest coming. I'm going to save all of this, of course. These will be in the notes. I've learned how to consolidate all of these different PDFs into one with the live chat. So it appears as the global class notes in the folder. Next week, we're going to return to this, and we're going to take up all the rest of them, and I'm going to teach you some more about global leadership skills. I want to make sure everybody has a chance to talk at some length about their initiatives. It is possible that some of you may return to these for your final assignment and actually come up with an action plan on how to do this. That would be great. So I'm going to suggest, if it's okay with all of you, that all of you for now return to the circle here. We're going to conclude. Leave everything there. I will save everything, okay? Come back, okay? Come back to the circle. I want to conclude with Vicky, okay? And give her a chance. Everybody can see what I've just done on the big board, okay? So I'm kind of today doing something very new myself with the classroom, but it's all working, which is great. Thanks, Alec. Okay, so everybody, Foma, you can come too, okay? And come join us. So everybody should be back together right now, and we're going to conclude with the class, and that's what everybody can see is your notes. The only one that is not visible there is Alec's team, Team 3, because of the tech, but that's fine. So next week, when we return to this, you're going to have a chance next week to talk about those, okay? So will, of course, Team 1. Team 2 will get to finish with whatever they have there. But I want finally to come back to where this started, which is with Vicky today. And I'm going to get, yeah. Do you want to, Foma, could you go just grab the mic and we'll give Vicky the mic, okay? And we'll get you the mic. Oh, yeah, good. So we've got a mic. Next week, I want to return to one thing right at the beginning, and then we'll come to Vicky. Aaron, get ready next week. I'm going to be asking you right at the start of the class, why would you come up with drugs? And I'm going to try and find out if he has a particular passion here about this that's based on some kind of personal thing. It doesn't have to be. But the best initiatives come from a part of you. What that part is, we'll see. But Vicky, is there anything as we come to our conclusion today that you'd like to say to everybody about the idea of really where you want to go now? I think Alec was exploring this at the beginning, and it was very good. He was sort of asking, well, where do you want to take this? And so could you speak to a little bit of how you see this initiative that you've started of helping people with disabilities going forward in the future? And then we're going to conclude, okay? Go ahead.
That's a good question. Andrew, are you still there?
She should. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, she's. It might.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay? Go ahead. Yeah.
Yes,
she's here. Yeah.
With that question, I'm just trying to think.
So, Vicky, he's asking, like, what do you want to see for all students in terms of reading?
I would like to have them have an actual education and learning to read. Like, I want them to actually able to, like, have a, like, you know what I mean? That they can
have
read
access to the scientific.
Have access to scientifically based reading curriculum programs, able to read a menu, able to read the pick up and drop off signs. Like, you know what I mean? Have a normal life where having to learn how to do things without reading, kind of thing.
About 10% of the population has reading disabilities.
Yeah.
10%?
It's
yes.
a big.
Is that high?
Yeah, 10%.
Oh.
And they found recently in schools, they've been doing new testing since the new curriculum's been implemented. And they're finding that in public school, over 30% of the children are actually struggling to read.
Yeah.
So they may not have necessary reading differences, but they're behind and they haven't learned how to read in the way that the schools were teaching before, because they figured reading would happen organically. They weren't using.
They changed about 10, 15 years ago. They changed the reading curriculum thinking that people might just learn by
organically. Yeah.
Organically.
Yeah.
Not.
But now they're bringing back some of the old ways they used to teach, and they've also added a bunch of scientifically backed information to it.
And make it even better.
But like we said earlier, they're only doing that right now. They've implemented it up to grade 3.
But not up to, you know, above.
Right.
So that's what I'm working on, is try and get that implemented from grade 3 and above.
Well, listen, there's so much more we can explore, but I want to now finally conclude by giving Vicky and all of you, by the way, because Vicky has helped today to inspire all of what you're seeing on the board. So this is a clap for all of us, okay, in terms of, you know, energy together, that, you know, we all are capable of doing much better, and we can all lead things. We all have it in us. So thank you all, and Joy, for being part of this class too, and supporting Vicky the way that you do, and demonstrating the importance of support in all of this. And please remember that next Tuesday, your second reflection is due. Alec, yeah, go ahead. See, this is creative. I think you know what the answer to that is. You know, let's write a thank you letter, you know, and that's going to be instead of the discussion post, actually, this could take a little time. Now you're watching your professor, the leader, adjusting. I'm pivoting because somebody in the team here has a good idea. So what am I going to do? Stand up like Donald Trump and say you're a loser? You ever notice with Donald Trump, everybody's a loser except him, and there's no law and no rule that applies to him. The United States has become the land of the lawless losers. They're on their way out, and there's a new world emerging. That's just my view. Okay, so I just had to get that off my chest. The land of the lawless losers. Let the United States commit suicide. The world's a big world. Lots more people than the Americans right now. Well, you know, it did burn during the War of 1812 when we kicked their butt. Washington burned during the War of 1812 when we fought them off. I'm not going to get on a rant right now, but, you know, Canada is at a moment, an existential moment. We don't need the Americans. We have a big world, contrary to what they like to think. But Alec is right. I would say for this class that your second reflection, you have an option, okay? I want you to still do the discussion post because you all get your 3 for doing a question. That's easy. But for the second reflection that's due next week, for those of you online watching the recording, here is what I'd like you to deliver. It's a great idea. Every single one of you, please send to my Dropbox as your second reflection as an option. You can follow what I've given you in the criteria, or at the same word length, you write a thank you note to Vicky, and in it, you explain why you're thanking her. Please do not, if you do this, I'm going to I'll start crying. My heart will be broken. If you go into ChatGPT and say, please write me a nice thank you note for Vicky Pike, you know, and make it 425 words and make it informal, and that you deliver as your assignment, and I smell it as it's a machine writing that, I'm going to just give that a big fat 0, just like that. Just like that. Guaranteed, okay? So please, no machines, real writing. And if you have trouble with writing, I don't care. Just write the way you speak as best you can. Okay, everybody, I got to let you go. We're running 5 minutes late. Final thing? Yeah. Yes, go ahead. Final thing from Vicky.
You guys are able to find me on social media if you would like as well. And thank you for giving me the honor and my Aunt Joy the honor to actually come here and actually speak to you guys. Like, it was very enlightening and grateful. And
Thank you, Vicky. Yeah. Thank you guys. Okay. See you next week,
Thank you.
everybody. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Good. I liked. Great. Now I'm going to end it. Okay, so I've going to save the live chat. You've had a FOMA and goodbye from a FOMA and Kenza. Let's get this saved. Nice, and then I can save the notes. Microphone on. See you next week, everybody.